mobile home, manufactured home, modular. They all have this catchphrase. A lot of people just say mobile home. Well, there's a big difference between those three. And me as a loan officer, I want to go and explain those three. And also, when you're looking for a manufactured home, things to look for, but also things to expect in fees and inspections, because they're a little different than a single family residence. So let's talk about a modular home first, because I don't really talk about that much in this video. Modular homes, those are built in a factory, taken out to a job site, put on a foundation, and affixed to that foundation. It's the same as a single family house, except it was not built on site, it was built in a factory. Okay, so that's the modular home. So let's talk about the mobile home and the manufactured home. If there's anything I want you to get out of this video, think 1976, our bicentennial year. If it was built before 1976, it's a mobile home. You won't be able to get a mortgage for it. Now, you may be able to get a personal loan for it, or you'll have to pay cash. Okay, so now let's talk about the manufacturers. So the reason this came into play is HUD got with these manufacturers and said, we want to give loans out, but we need to update the standards, the plumbing, the electric, the safety, the framing, the energy efficiency. So the manufacturing companies agreed, and so they raised the standards. And so after 1976, June 15th to be exact, it's now called a manufactured home. Okay, so when you're looking online and Zillow or Realtor.com, whatever it may be, if you see a manufactured home that's priced a lot lower than others that you see, it's probably too good to be true. Not that there's anything wrong with the manufactured home. There's probably a lot fee attached to it. Okay, this is a red flag. No, no, you're not going to go get a loan if there's a lot fee attached. And let me explain why. I, as a loan officer, I'm approving you for, let's say, $200,000. I don't know if you're going to go for a manufactured home, a townhouse, a condominium, or a single family house. Okay, so if there's a lot fee attached, let's say $500 a month, you get the loan and you move in, and the next year, the landowner says now it's $1,000 a month, which is not uncommon here in Florida. If you paid attention the last couple of years, rates have gone through the roof. Well, then you won't be able to afford the loan and you'll default. Okay, so that's why lenders only want a manufactured home with the land. So they have to be together on the deed. Okay, so when you see a lot fee, just move on, unless you want to pay cash. Okay, so now we've got that in mind. So let's talk about the types. There's single wide, double wide, and triple. Single wide, you cannot get an FHA or VA loan. Okay, it's got to be a double or triple if it's FHA or VA. So if you only can get approved through FHA financing, you have to be looking at a double wide trailer. Okay, and conventional can be single, double, or triple. Now, here's another little tidbit. Conventional VA and FHA, at this time, it's 600 square feet minimum. Okay. However, and I ran into this about a year and a half ago, some lenders in-house have their rule that they will not give a loan if the manufactured home is less than 1,000 feet. Okay, so keep that in mind, you realtors out there and buyers. If you're working with a loan officer, such as myself, make sure that if something's small under 1,000 square feet, that lender where we're getting the loan from will approve it. Okay. Can't be in a flood zone. I think that's self-explanatory for all of them. It's got to be a primary or secondary property. Okay, if it's an FHA or VA, it definitely has to be primary. If it's a conventional loan, it's got to be it can be secondary. You're going to have to put at least 15% down. Okay, no investment. No one will let that go. It's got the regular, down payment minimums, so that's not an issue. And if it's got polybutylene pipes, that's not going to work either. So stay away from those. Okay, so now let's move on to inspections and fees and what to expect. Let me talk about the two that are additional to a manufactured home. Uh, One is an IBTS, uh, Institute for Building Technology Safety. It's basically a faceplate that shows the serial number of that manufactured home. And since it's a double wide or triple wide, these two or three faceplates have to match. Now, it's not going to be the exact serial number, but it will be the same model number and maybe an ABC after the serial number. Get with the listing agent to ask them, where is this located? Because the appraiser is going to have to find this. We may have to send someone out separate for this, which could be a couple $100, but that needs to be identified. The other one, and this is a big one, an engineering certification. This could be anywhere from $200 to $1,200. And we need to make sure that your buying agent, your real estate agent, if you're buying this property, we get on this really quick, because I've seen some of these engineers be as far out as 2 weeks. And I can tell you, this area, more times than not, needs addressing. The engineer is going to go out there and make sure that the foundation's accurate, it's good, it's solid, but also the tie straps. Because what we have down here in Florida are hurricanes. And these tie straps, they change the codes a lot for the better, to make sure that these manufactured homes stay afloat. So as a general guideline, if this manufactured home was bought 10 plus years ago, I'm going to guess the code has changed, whether the angle of the tie downs changed or the number of tie downs. So just keep that in mind. Now, let's assume the engineer says it needs some modification, some repairs. As a buyer, I highly recommend you do not pay for this. Have the seller pay for it. Now, there may be a seller that's a stick in the mud, say, nope, it's as is. You're not going to get the loan, okay, unless this is fixed. And if you fix it and you don't close on this loan, then you just pay for his repair, okay? So talk to your real estate agent about this, but this area usually needs addressing, okay? The other one is if it's out in the country and it's on a septic or well water, those are going to have to get inspected as well. The water gets sent off to a lab, they test it, and this could take some time. That could be a couple $100. So if you've been following along, we just added up 2 to 3, maybe even 3.5 weeks, depending on the results of some things to get done. So my point being is, I've not been able to close on a manufactured home in less than 30 days. I always do a 45-day lock. That gives the 2-week cushion. I highly recommend that. And the other inspections, it's up to you, a home inspection, and then your appraisal after that. So hopefully this tutorial was helpful, that it gave you some insights to look at, because I know we've got a lot of folks outside of Florida, and they're looking for a winter retreat. We welcome people to come down here and come to the Sunshine State. And hopefully this helps you weed out some of those properties that you're interested in, but it's just not quite a fit the guidelines. So if you have any questions, concerns, just hit reply, ask me any questions. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Okay, have a great day. Thanks.